This month we're talking about a few accounting packages, business packages that we offer at NGR Accounting. And today I'm going to talk about our starter business package and why you need to enroll yourself in this package so you have your best chance of surviving in business. Guys, let's get on it. Let's go. When I first started a business, and luckily for me, I'm as passionate at day one as I am in, I guess, year 6, leading to year 7. And for me, I always knew that, operating my own accounting practice was something that I wanted to do. And, over the years we've evolved, we've changed. We started with myself, and now, we've got myself, and we've got, 4 other key important staff members here that work with us. And for me, I love turning up. I won't lie, there are days where I just don't want to be here, but I think everyone has off days. But if you look at it, 99% of the time I'm building the business, I'm loving the business, and I love the clients, I love the people, and I just love doing what I do. But you know what the real reality is, and it is for a lot of startup businesses, even as an accountant, I was qualified as a CPA, I'd done my degree, but it wasn't until really at this stage now in my career, in my business, that I understand so much about running a business. And even myself as a startup, I don't think I truly understood what I was getting myself into, and the tears and the stress, and sometimes just not the good, but just also sometimes the ugly or the bad. And it's one of those things, it's the yin and the yang. You can't have this without that. So that was very much the case of when I started my business, and I've discovered this now. And that probably leads to why we're doing this video today, and why we have the starter business package. It's because I want people who come to me, who want to go into business, know everything they need to know so they have the best chance to make a success of their journey. There's a stat out there, I think, in the first 5 years of business, it is the hardest slog you'll ever go through. And in that first 5 years, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, a good chunk of those businesses, I think it's 66%, if it's fairly high, actually fail. And it really made me think, it's if a business had the right tools in place and the right stepping stones, the right start, how much more successful could they be, and how much lower could that percentage be of failure? So I guess it's time to introduce our Start a Business program. So who is this designed for? Well, really, if you've never been in business, you're entrepreneurial by nature, and you're wanting to take the leap from being an employee to self-employed, this is for you. When we run through the program, the program basically runs through a whole day. So I do ask for a whole day of your time, and this is how much info we've got to download about running a business. And this is ultimately the best chance for you to be successful. But when we run the program, we're going to go through the sweat, the tears, and the stress that you're going to discover when you're in business. And we're going to get you to the point where you fully understand that. And for some people, they might get to the end of the day and say, yep, that's not for me. But for the others who are still keen in that program to go forward with being in business, they fully know what they're getting into. And I guess as well, they can go to, if you buy yourself, you can make your own decision, but if you've got a partner in your life, like a wife, spouse, husband, even the kids, you can go to them and say, hey, we're going to start this journey, and I want you to know as well, I'm going to download some information to you, let you know what we're all getting into. Because the reality is, when you start a business, pretty much everyone around you is a little bit involved in it as well. So that's really, I guess, what we're trying to achieve in that startup program. It's for you as the startup, as the person wanting to go into business, fully being aware of what it means to be in business. So instead of getting to the end of like 2 years or 3 years when all the glitz and glamour have worn off and the pain is now starting to appear because problems are starting to come through the cracks, you can basically know, well, yeah, that's what I signed up to. As opposed to, you know, if you had set up a business and you're 12 months in, you go, well, I signed a 3-year lease and I've got this lease equipment, like, you know, you've hired all your equipment, like on finance, and, you know, it's almost like saying, well, I've really got to stay here from 3 to 5 years. And what I want to, I guess, ultimately have is that doesn't happen. If you find that you're going to be one of these people after going through the course that, geez, this just wasn't for me, think about the time and the money you're going to save by knowing that before you started. Because I tell you what, when you sign a lease, if it's a 3-year lease, you're paying for 3 years of rent, regardless if you're there or not, unless someone can take it over. And once again, if you've hired equipment, like, you know, under a finance arrangement, that finance is there for you to pay off unless you can sell it, and there might be a loss. So, and I guess as well at the same point, like, if you've been running this business and you could have been employed, well, how much income have you lost? So there's quite a bit of financial stress here, and a lot of money at stake, possibly for starting up your own business. A lot of people go into business, and I think the thing I want to focus on is I love these reality TV cooking shows. And I think they're fantastic and they're great entertainment. And look, some reality is pretty ordinary. Like, you're not going to see me watching Married at First Sight. Sorry guys, I just can't do that. But, like, you know, for the cooking shows, what I often love hearing is the passion that people have in wanting to cook. And that passion, and usually what they follow up with when they say they're passionate about cooking, is that they want to leave their job and it's their dream to cook for people for the rest of their life or their business life and actually make money from it. And it's really good if you've got a passion to actually make money from that. If I look at myself, I was really always passionate about business. So it made sense for me to run my own accounting practice. But the real reality, though, is that, you know, if we look at these cooks who want to run their own restaurant, is that, you know, maybe in the first few years they will be behind that stove cooking. But as the business grows, their focus will be taken away from the cooking, the day-to-day nightly cooking or the lunch cooking, to actually other aspects of the business that need concentration on. So aspects could be like, I guess, you know, HR, it could be marketing, it could be just general admin of running the business. There's so many areas of business that you need to, I guess, consider more than just selling the goods, or in this case, the food. So, you know, when I look at those awesome people that they've been their dream, if we went and saw them after they opened their restaurant 2 or 3 years later, do you think that opening a restaurant would still be their dream? Or cooking, you know, they might still love and, you know, enjoy cooking, but it might not be, you know, in a business sense. And I guess, you know, where our course is going to take us is starting a business, that if someone like that came to us, the course is going to run through a whole lot of different things they need to know about being in business, and then they can decide whether they still want to be in business. And the reality is, they might still enjoy doing their 9-to-5 job and understand what that means to them, and then, you know, cook on the weekends for their friends and family, and they still get the best of both worlds and being still financially viable to continue living. So why are we running the program? I was one of these people as well, where clients would come to me and we would basically just talk about, hey, you're going to need to set up a company. You're going to need an APN. Oh, you're also going to need to register for GST. The question that myself and a lot of other accountants don't even ask is, do you know what you're doing? Do you know why you're going into business? Why do you want to go into business? Do you know it's more than just, you know, if you're baking bread, just selling, you know, putting flour in and 3 in the morning, baking the bread and then getting out and selling it? What are the other aspects of it? And that's why this package came together, was that I just really wanted to help my clients, and I'd seen as well, like we've had my practice now for about, we're coming up to 7 years in July, and I've also been an accountant since 2001. I've done the same thing the whole time. Always just gone, yep, tick, 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 all these usual questions that accountants ask. Never the big question, should you be in business? But what we always see, I know, and every accountant would see this, someone's been in business for about 2 years, maybe 3, and they're suffering because they didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't know what it all meant, and they didn't realise how many hats that they had to wear. But could you imagine if there was a package, a program, I guess some education where you can be fully aware of what's involved, so that when you start your business, you are fully equipped and at least just got a bit of education about where to go. Get some sort of direction. So it's almost like we had a look at a map, we kind of know we're going that way, as opposed to we're going this way, that way, that way, that way. Okay guys, so what are we covering in this program? So the first thing is, with the program, we are asking for a full day of your time. So if you're committed to running a business, we're going to ask you to be here with us during this program for a whole day. We will also fully feed you. I'm going to make sure there's plenty of Red Bull, or V, or soft drink, or even just water, whatever you like, so you can get the most out of this program. There's going to be exercises throughout the day that relate back to the topics that we're talking about. Topics we cover are small business facts, just some really basic generic information you need to know about running a business. Then we look at, I guess, the reality of starting up a startup business. What is it you need to know? And this is going to be the harsh truth. There's no covering it up here with sugar or anything like that. There's no sweetening to us. I'm just going to tell you exactly as it is. We also then go through, I guess, instead of starting a business, do you buy a business? And then the process of what you need to consider when you're buying a business, from the due diligence to the owner you're buying off. We also look at the true financial costs of setting up the business, and just not the financial, but also the non-financial. So as I think I mentioned earlier in the video, financial could be, say, yep, you're signing up to a 3-year lease, right? So if it's $100,000 each year for the lease, that's, you're up to $300,000 there. It could be, buying the whole fit out. The fit out might cost you $100,000 depending on what you're doing. There might be a whole lot of other costs. But then also the non-financial costs are, how is it going to impact your family? Because they're going to be part of that ride too. And how's it going to impact your relationships with people that are friends and family? So we look at those costs as well. We also go over some marketing tips and also some HR tips when you hire your first staff member. And then the importance, this is a big one, the importance of understanding your profit and loss. How to understand how, I guess, you're going to make money and cash flow. And then lastly, we cover off what every other accountant covers and talks about when you set up a business: the legal structure, the compliance with the ATO, and other state taxes that you need to be aware of. So, I guess in a nutshell, that is our Start a Business program. And ultimately, I think you need to be asking yourself, is this program meant for you? Or do you know someone who's mentioned about starting their business and whether they should be doing this themselves? This is an ultimate investment to help yourself build a strong business that will succeed. If you'd like to know more information, please reach out to us at ngraccounting.com.au. Thanks for watching. See you guys.